What's up, guys? Today I wanted to do kind of a different sort of video, more of a behind the scenes video where I show you the things that go into the videos that I make, kind of the testing process, the shooting, the B-roll, the tutorials, the filming setup, you know, a lot of stuff that I just typically don't show in my videos. I hope that's interesting. I don't know, let me know. So today, this morning actually, I rarely film in the morning. I'm trying to get better about getting into a morning habit, whether it's filming the full video in the morning and then editing in the afternoon, or if it's getting my product testing done. But for some reason, it is always just easier for me to start my voiceover stuff, auditions, any projects that I have, like address that right off the bat. And then I find that that gets pushed so far back into the day because new auditions get posted. I do that lunch, like I just get very distracted that if I don't do the beauty stuff right up front, it tends to not get done. So in order to like keep some momentum here on YouTube, I'm trying to be more of a morning person when it comes to my makeup. So today on deck, I want to try the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I would like to do a wear test, but anytime I do like put it on in the morning, check back in at night, I always forget. I'm just not great at wear tests. So maybe this will be like a little wear test. Then I have some eyebrow products that I've been using over the past few weeks, but I haven't actually filmed demos of. I've just been like using them in my everyday makeup routine, and so I have thoughts on them, but I don't actually have myself using them in a way that I would want to put in my videos where it's like a high quality close-up. I feel like you can really see the before and after difference. So I'm going to choose one of the four that I have to try to do on my brows, and then I am going to do a few looks, not right now, but ultimately I want to do a few looks using the new Pat McGrath Utopian palette, kind of like I did with the Natasha Denona retro palette that just came out, where I did like 4 looks, quick little tutorials in that one review video. I'd like to do the same sort of thing with this palette. And so sometimes I'll do one eye and then the other eye like at the same time, but because I actually have somewhere to be, I got a doctor appointment, baby doctor appointment this morning, I'm gonna do one cohesive eye look, like the same look on both eyes, because, you know, I really wanna keep the focus on the baby and not why my eyes are too decorated in 2 different ways. So first, getting the camera situated, gotta do the before shot, get the here's what my skin looks like pre-foundation. Involves lots of awkward staring. You get used to it as you do this over the years, but I will say, I really feel like I haven't mastered the art of the slight smile. I don't want to totally frown, but I don't want to like be super smiley either, but you get used to it for the most part. What do you think? Is it awkward? Is it as awkward to watch as it is sometimes to do? Okay, so this is a pump and a half of product, and this is normally a mistake whenever I'm trying a new foundation, is I always overdo it. So I'm gonna try really hard. Oh no, messes are common. Gonna try and keep it light, which is so far not going well. Okay, so I actually ended up using all of that 1.5 pumps, and I feel like it's good coverage, but it's still medium coverage. Like you can really still see some hyperpigmentation that I have around my freckling around my nose and on my cheeks. It lays really nicely, but for something that says it is a full coverage foundation, I could do more. I could do more to achieve full coverage. I'm not going to, because I really don't want to cake this up. I like kind of the lighter coverage we have going on. It's very dry, I will say. I have been really loving dewy foundations as of late, just overall a very dewy look. And this is kind of having a powdery, it's giving me powdery finish. Although I feel like I still have some glow and dew coming through from my SPF and my like oil that I applied underneath. Interesting. Okay, now I'm just applying concealer, a tiny little bit, I mean, not the tiniest little bit, but you know, of my Huda Beauty Overachiever concealer, which is just the best match for me right now. I mean, I love the formula and I love the applicator, but it's also, I've been reaching for it because it's just the best match, shade match I have for myself right now. It's in Coconut Flakes 10N by the way. So there's that. And then when I test foundations, I don't like to put any powder over top. I don't generally like powder, especially now that my skin is super dry, but also I like to really test the foundation as it is, because I feel like if you set it with a powder, you're also kind of testing the powder. I want to see like just how raw this foundation performs. You know what I mean? Okay, so now for the brows. First, I gotta zoom this guy. So I get super close. Once again, do a before shot of the eye, change my focus, make sure it is super close and stays in focus the whole time. And then, have I said this? I don't think so. Today, I want to do the NYX Fill and Fluff brow pencil in, mine is the shade Ash Brown. So there is the product in my brows. It's kind of like a thicker pomade-y sort of texture, but not, it doesn't feel like there's anything coating your brows. Then there's this brush, kind of reminds me of one of those Artise brushes on the other side. And I'm just gonna use that to blend and really push the product into my brows. This, I mean, I think it's kind of an easy one to overdo your brows. These are a bit more than I had anticipated going with for the day. And part of me chalks it up to how big this applicator is. It's one of those like triangular applicators, which we can pretend the tip is going to give you more precision. But the second that guy is worn down, it's a blunt tip that lays down a bunch of heavy product. And so naturally, yeah, you're gonna lose your precision pretty quickly after using this product. So, And I also think that this kind of brush is also not helping with the precision, because in pushing it through my brows, it kind of smudges the border around my brows. You know what I mean? It kind of blurs and smudges, it just makes them a little bigger than I'd really anticipated. Boy, those are big brows. I think I prefer a spoolie tip, like a mascara style wand, to comb and brush product through my brows. It makes them a little, but I think that's part of the fluff aspect. Maybe that is fill and fluff. I guess these do look like fluffy brows. So can't say it doesn't do what it promises. It is time to do the face. And this is what happens when Bailey of yesterday said, put all of the stuff that you've been using lately back in your collection. It'll force you to go and get new products. That way you're not using the same old stuff, which you might love, but like, let's reach back in for other things that you love. Bailey today hates the Bailey yesterday because I just want something quick and easy to grab and do my face. So great news, I just realized I actually don't have to do a whole lot of digging because of what I'm using on my eyes. Pat McGrath always includes like blushy and highlighty type shades in her palettes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and probably use that hot coral shade as my blusher, this as my highlight, and then I whipped out my Cover FX monochrome bronzer duo, and this is in the shade Sun-Kissed Bronze. I love these because they have both the shimmery as well as the matte, so you can mix and match. And it's funny because when I first got this, I was matte all the way. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna use the shimmery bronzer side. And now, after having used or tried the Lorac Tantour, it's like a very shimmery bronze shade. I am all about shimmery bronzer, especially one like this that is more of a satin, like a high shine satin, so you don't like look like a disco ball. There aren't any stark chunky glitters in there. It is just finely milled goodness. Okay, now for this blush, I'm going in with this. These are, by the way, are the Real Techniques Victoria Lynn collaboration. This is the 038 big old fluffy face brush, and I'm going in with that blush shade in the Pat McGrath palette. It's very pigmented though, so watch yourself. Super gorgeous though. And then for the highlight, again, Victoria Lynn and Real Techniques, this is the 047 brush. Gonna do this one on the tops of the cheekbones. Oh yeah, super gorgeous, super natural. I dig it. So now I'm gonna prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. And today, because I'm doing both eyes with the same look, this is actually more of like a leisurely tutorial. I'm gonna do kind of experiment with what I want on one eye and then zoom in and film what will ultimately become part of the tutorial on the other eye. You know, this way I get to experiment with one eye and then really perfect it on the other for the tutorial. These, again, from the Victoria Lynn one of her brush sets that actually comes with a color switch, and I love that. I will say though, the one hazard of doing a tutorial like this where I'm doing the same look on both eyes is it's very easy to go on autopilot mode where I will do this crease, be thinking about something else, most likely be listening to a podcast, and I'll totally forget that I'm planning on filming the other eye, and I'll just go in, you know, like it's an everyday makeup look, just doing the other, kind of replicating what I'm doing on the other eye. That has come back to bite me so many times, so many times. Okay, so here is one eye done, and I feel kind of like the first time I used this in a tutorial, like a chatty, talking about the beauty community tutorial where I first used this palette. I feel like I have not done this palette justice. I need to look for some inspiration pictures online, because this, for everything this palette can do, just feels a little ho-hum, but the show goes on. Especially because I'm pretty sure I am getting to be a little late for this appointment. The other nice thing about doing one eye first and then the other is that because I have to stay so focused on keeping myself centered in my little square in this viewfinder to make sure I stay focused, it's a little bit easier for me to just do something that, you know, recreate something that I just did on the other eye. Okay, so there are the eyes done. Finish off with a gloss. This is something new from Urban Decay, one of their new glosses in Name Drop. Then I'm gonna take a quick after of the face. That way there's a baseline for how the foundation wears throughout the day. And then I gotta run. Okay, so I realized I wanted to show this foundation in the actual sunlight, which hopefully you can tell on the front facing camera here. It's really nice. The coverage has really gotten better. You can see a mask line. I went to my appointment, by the way. Baby's healthy, heartbeat's strong. We're at 30 weeks today. And aside from some increasing acid reflux for me, baby's doing great. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Does that help? No, probably not. But here's what it looks like kind of in natural sun. Post mask wearing, I probably had it on for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours at this point. And it's looking pretty good. It's not patchy or anything like that. I mean, this is kind of distracting, but I'm really liking how it looks for now. Oh, and also the way this eyeshadow is like reflecting in the sun is nice. It's really, I mean, Pat McGrath never disappoints, but it's pretty nice. Okay, back from my appointment for a while now. I'm just getting some voice work done, and it's about 2:30. So I've had the foundation on for 4.5, almost 5 hours. What is that? If I started at like 9:30? And it's looking pretty good. Obviously my lips are worn off, so imagine a glossy lip with this. But for the most part, the lighting's kind of poor in here, but it's looking pretty good. The one thing that I find is interesting that I wasn't planning on testing today, but good to note and observe. Look at this fallout from the Pat McGrath palette. I used the wand, her new, whatever that wand is that's supposed to like intensify the eyeshadows, and it's not acting as a very good sticky base. It certainly intensified the shadows. That like super glittery shade that I popped in the center of my lid definitely intensified it, but is not keeping it in place. And remember, I primed with a paint pot, and then I put that on the center of my lid as well when I was applying that super glittery shade, and not the best adhesive I have ever used. That is kind of the one thing that is affecting this foundation. A little bit of wear on my chin area here. I don't know if you can see that, but I kind of attribute that to mask wearing and getting like kind of sweaty, glistening, if you will. And also the brows aren't looking too bad. They are looking not as intense as I remember them feeling when I first put them on today. Overall, digging the makeup look. Yeah, I'll see you at the next check-in. Apparently this became a wear test for this foundation, which was not my intention, but here we are. Okay, update time. Oh, am I going to? Nah, we're gonna leave the lights. We're just gonna do the update. Okay, just applying a little bit of that lip gloss that I initially wore with this look today, because I feel like sometimes when the lips wear off, you feel like the rest of your face, it just makes your whole face look like you have less makeup on. So just for a more fair sense of comparison from where we were, let's get far away at first. So this is it. What time is it? It is like 8:30. It's almost 9 p.m. So this is almost 12 hours of wear right now. And it's pretty good. Most wear has been happening right in my under eye area here. And I can definitely see some patchiness here on my cheek. Let's see if I can get you closer. Can you kind of see how it's worn away and gotten a little patchy right here, which is where I tend to be most dry, although right now I'm kind of dry everywhere, but pretty good over here. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, some wear in my chin just because of mask wearing. In fact, right here, general wear and tear from mask wearing, but the rest of the makeup, I think, withstood masking the general elements having been out and about today pretty well as the rest of the foundation. Like, it is relatively budge proof. Now, like a lot of foundations these days, this claims 24-hour wear, and I don't want to wear any foundation for 24 hours. I don't even really want to wear it for like the 12 hours that I have. Like 15 is my max. So I am sure this could wear a lot longer, but I'm pretty content with how it actually wore here today. I'm not totally happy with how it kind of clings to my dry patches, but it does say it is a matte formula, so I do think this would be better for oilier skin types. I probably could have done better prep prior to putting this on today. Normally, I talked about this in my favorites video, I would use my BioElements Dew Luxe and Ray Defense, my sunscreen, and this is just like an oil that I've really been loving to keep my skin hydrated throughout the day. I didn't use that today. I was using my Sidoni Vitamin C Serum in conjunction with a spritz oil from, I forget what the brand name is called. I've really been enjoying it though, but neither one of those products is quite doing it for me in terms of keeping my skin hydrated. And today, while trying a matte foundation, was probably not the day to wear that combo over my more hydrating combo. So I don't fault it too much for clinging to those patches, given that it is supposed to be a matte finish foundation. And as far as further wear tests go, I would really want to see it layered up, even though I was very content with how kind of second skin-like it looked today, while still being full coverage and evening out my medium coverage and evening out my complexion. I would want to see just how full coverage I can actually make this guy. So, but overall, really impressed. And for NYX, a really nice foundation. I think this video has gotten way off track, was not supposed to be a dedicated foundation review here today, mostly behind the scenes, but today you got both, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of this review, this kind of video format, down in the comments below, and thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.